Welcome back to my lair. How are we today? Okay, so how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Liam Francis drum video. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you make it all the way to the end of this video. Today I'm gonna be grooving, I'm gonna be soloing, I'm gonna be swinging, I'm may or may not be scatting, I don't know. I'm gonna be phrasing, I'm gonna be soloing, and I'm gonna be talking to you guys about stuff. And I like stuff, and I like this because this is awesome. And you may notice a new camera angle. That's because I did not like it over here. It was over here, overshadowing me. Yeah, it was nice, you know, I could see everything, but like there's just that wall back there with a bunch of my crap. And I know some people enjoy that kind of stuff, but I like people to be able to see the drums, and also now you can see what I do with my feet. I'm a heel down player. I'm not a ball with my foot player. I learned a different way, and that's fine, but sometimes the rock and roll stuff gets a little hard, which is what I grew up and started learning to play the drums. That's what I was playing, Roger Taylor, John Bonham, Keith Moon, Ginger Baker, all those guys, Mitch Mitchell, dude. But Buddy Rich and Alex Van Halen play a crucial part in this video. So stick around. If you don't stop and look, you might miss something. Listen to me when I'm talking to you, okay? Okay? Beautiful, okay? All right, okay? Beautiful. All right! We're gonna start off with a little Buddy Rich like kind of thing. Going too fast. But the main focus of this video is a little bit of history and the personality of Mr. Buddy Rich. He was an amazing drummer, and he's a legend at his instrument. And he was a very strict and central, blah, blah, blah. He was a very strict individual. He knew what he wanted, and if the band didn't play his way, there was a big problem. And that's what the bus tapes right here on YouTube are about. You know, the Buddy Rich bus tapes. That's the tour bus. You know, he's screaming out his band every single night. You know, they're messing up, talking about turning off the saxophones, talking about taking one guy out and showing him what it's like. That's in Seinfeld. But Buddy Rich was, but before I start with that, Alex Van Halen just won the Buddy Rich Award for Drumeo. And he went on a video and he talked about how Buddy Rich was a humble guy. And while I love Alex Van Halen, unfortunately I have to disagree with Mr. Van Halen. Because he was not a very humble dude. He was very boastful. You know, if you're a legend like that, you can absolutely be boastful and, you know, do whatever the heck you want. But you still have to really respect other musicians, you know, and how they play and what they play and who they are, you know, as musicians and really as people, you know. But it's just kind of, you gotta not be crazy like that. Alex Van Halen is incredible and unfortunately incredibly underrated as a drummer in this drumming community because his brothers always talked about because he was a guitar god. Alex Van Halen is also a drum god in my eyes, you know. I grew up listening to Van Halen and Led Zeppelin and classic rock, but when I first started playing drums, my mom and my dad really got me into Buddy Rich. But as I grew as a drummer and as I grew older, I kind of realized I was like, all right, Buddy Rich is good. Don't get me wrong. He's a legend. He's the man. But, and my pop watches my channel. So Pop, I'm looking right here. What I'm about to say, I deeply apologize for, but please forgive me. I think Gene Krupa is much better of a drummer than Buddy Rich was because Gene Krupa, he was very humble and he had groove, he had feel, he had the chops, he had the greatest musicians in his band, much similar to how Buddy Rich was that same way. But with Buddy Rich, unfortunately, him being a drummer, that was like, it was the drummer show. You didn't go to a Buddy Rich show to listen to the band. You went to a Buddy Rich show to blip, 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 whip, rewind, whip. You went to a Buddy Rich show to see Buddy Rich. Nailed it. And it was the drummer show. You know, yeah, there was a big band there, but Buddy Rich was the drummer show. And that's kind of unfortunate, you know, because if I'm going to see a band, I want to see the band, you know. I'm a drummer, I love drums, but I want to see the band. I want to hear the music. You know, that's where it's all at. But yeah, Gene Krupa was very prominent. But another fun little story about Buddy Rich was that he knew Frank Sinatra, and Frank Sinatra knew him, obviously. And they knew each other pretty well. And they were roommates back when their careers were first starting. And they did not like each other. They were at each other's throats constantly. And it was just insane. Yeah, and as they got older, their conflict resolved, which is how it always happens. But before then, it was, you know, Buddy Rich couldn't care about the guy who was out there singing on stage and before Frank Sinatra was a singer, he was actually a big band conductor. And Buddy Rich also hated conductors. He didn't like singers and he didn't like conductors because they stole the show. This being the show. You know? Yeah, sorry. That previous video just got cut short because something happened. But, you know, basically, Buddy Rich is amazing. And Alex Van Halen is also amazing. But as I was saying, when Buddy Rich and Frank Sinatra grew older, they grew to be great friends. And by the time Buddy Rich died, they were resolved. And it was awesome. And it was beautiful. And it was just fabulous.